Hello and welcome to another episode of I Assemble a Kit Aircraft in my single car garage. This episode I will be completing the tail feathers. That's the horizontal stabilizer and the elevator that I have left to do. That means I've got all of the parts for those laid out on my workbench, and I will be cleaning everything off with acetone, removing stickers and things like that, and then I'll be priming all the mating surfaces, and then we will be riveting marathon, throwing it all together. I hope you enjoy. I found that's what's happened with pretty much all of these stickers if you just try and remove them. If you throw some acetone over the top of the sticker and let it soak in for a short while, it softens up the glue and they come off just wonderful. Much better than trying to pull shreds off. Look at that. Nice and easy. All it takes is a horrible smelling chemical. It really needed a lot of stirring. It's got a very different colour now than it did when I popped the lid. I'm going to call it quits with the brush there. The primer is very thin, so it doesn't brush on with a very consistent coat. And I also find once you brush over all the holes, you get all these drips come through on the other side. Not so obvious there because I've gone and run over it with my brush, so I don't have drips, but yeah. Don't think I'll continue with that. I wanted to use a brush to avoid the mess of spray, overspray, all that, but I think I'm gonna go get a touch-up gun rather than the full-size spray gun that I have, and that's probably gonna be the way I go. I bought a new spray gun this morning. It's a touch-up spray gun, which means it's just a bit smaller than a full-size spray gun. So this paint pot can only take 100 millilitres, so not very much. But being smaller means it's got a smaller spray pattern, which is going to be ideal for the long and skinny runs that I need to prime. Well, that was a much better experience with a spray gun. That little touch-up gun worked really well, had a very precise spray pattern, and I was able to get the paint where I wanted it, and very little overspray. I don't feel like I got it all over the rest of my garage, which is good. Even the rattle can spray paints go a little bit more all over the garage than that. So it worked really well. I found it very easy. I painted a lot of parts, and it's nice and easy to refill, and you only have to clean it up once. So all in all, I'd prefer that to a rattle can, even though you do have the cleanup. I've got parts stacked on top of each other. The paint luckily dries very fast. It's touch dry 10 minutes easily. Now I have a lot of parts to put together for the horizontal stabilizer and the elevator. So with that, I'll let it dry some more, and then we can start putting it together. I need to cut this curve out of both sides of this bracket, and so I've jigged up my angle grinder. There's a bolt through the bottom that goes into it, so it's pretty well secure there. And in a bit of while I'll hold the trigger down, and then I shall freehand this out and see what happens. Stupid idea? Probably, but I'm gonna do it. I don't have anything else to cut this with. I forgot to hit record. You didn't miss much. Got that rough cut out both sides. Went okay, but it heats up the part a lot. I mean, it's just an abrasive cutting wheel. Not ideal for aluminum, I wouldn't think. And I need to be careful that I don't heat it up too much, because that could start changing the temper or changing something about the strength of this. So I'm just taking it slow. I'm going to see how much the hand file will do, and if that's not quick enough, I'll throw the grinding disc on there. The part's looking good. A little bit of elbow grease went into the file, but it turned out okay. Welcome back to day 2 of the assembly marathon. I just got back from the shop from buying a torque wrench and an imperial spanner set, which I need to tighten up the 2 bolts. I had done these bolts up yesterday in those 2 holes, and I didn't have a torque wrench, so I just did them up to where I thought was good, and then went and got the torque wrench today, and they were over torqued, which is what the internet had me worried. Everyone says that most people over torque the crap out of them, and and that's probably what happened. So I'm actually just going to throw these bolts away. I'm not going to roll with them because I don't know what the torque was, no idea. And there's someone had a story on the internet of them not using a torque wrench. They did up all their bolts, and then on the last one of them snapped, and so they didn't know, well, how close to snapping were all the others. So they went back and did them all with a torque wrench. So lesson learned. It's a relatively expensive tool, but yeah, I don't want to be wondering whether those are over torqued to the point where they are getting close to failure. So I'm just going to do it right, and I will do all the future bolts right the first time. Just finished putting the skin on the horizontal stabilizer. It's not my favorite job, trying to ratchet that down. Hope you don't bend the skin in the wrong place. But second time doing it, and it turned out just as well as the first. So with that, let's get stuck into a shed load of riveting. Two rivets by these support brackets are not pulled as well as you'd hope, but the way they sit in, the skin being on an angle, they sit like that. There's no way you can pull it. So I straightened them out just a little bit and got the manual puller, because the manual puller's got a smaller thing, and just pulled them. I don't see any other way to do that. Horizontal stabilizer done, but we're not stopping now. It's about 12 o'clock and I'm going to get the elevator underway. Throw the skeleton of that together and the skins. The skins are easier on the elevator because you don't have to deal with ratcheting down the skin, and there's more pieces, so you've only got the two nose skins that you can bend round by hand. But let's not stop now, let's keep at it, get it done.